All right. So I was looking over the R18 and discovered something that I had to fix. So that's what I've been doing. And I guess I should pop this off to show what's going on. So the foot here that is the main support of the engine, the bottom of the flywheel just rests on this here and doesn't really get a lot of support from it. The whole engine is balanced on this single foot. That has these milled grooves, and they're milled so thin that there's basically no brass left to hold that foot firmly in place. And yesterday after I got inside, I looked at that and realized that the bolts that were holding the foot down were loose and punching through that thin spot, and this whole foot was wobbling, and that's why the engine was vibrating so much, because this foot was loose. So to fix that, I got some longer screws. Luckily these are M25 nuts and bolts, and these big washers so that it's pressing on the whole plate. But the reason they milled that out was so that this base can be flat. So then I had to grab a spade bit and drill indents so that this can sit flat on the base again. So now that we've solved that, I'm gonna put this back on the base. Let's see which. This is the long one. There's four of these, and one of them is incredibly long. That goes through the one section of the base that isn't milled out to make room for the that isn't milled to make room for all the batteries and stuff underneath, which I'm still waiting for those parts. But again, getting the replacements, and this is foolish, I need to just grab my forceps so I can grab this and stick it in place like so. You know, some days you just are stuck doing things the hard way because you don't want to get the right tool for the job, and that's fine sometimes. But of course the original reason I inspected this at all is because of this elbow here, which I was right. When I tried running it the other day, when I put this together, I had not I left this a little crooked. See if I can pop it out a little bit. Anyhow, you have to like make sure and work this elbow evenly between the two spots so that the O-ring on the end of that elbow is sealing properly and actually keeping the air on that intake side from bleeding at this elbow and screwing up the mix because it's downstream from the carb. So Let's see now. Go. And then there we go. Got that to catch now. And then once it starts threading, you can just sort of wedge something around the edge to get that to finish turning onto the bolt, but there's not enough room in there for any of my sockets. So, all right. So that's that. I left the fourth one off because that's the ground connection. And there we go. We've got compression, and hopefully with this foot attached more solidly and that elbow arranged more correctly, we can make this run. Because I gotta say, it's been real frustrating, but all of the problems are just most of the problems are largely just design features of the original engine. Like this foot and the balance problems are all related to the original engine and the weight saving measures that were available when it was designed. So it's not really the things that would solve all these problems permanently are largely design features of modern engines, which, like I said, there's a reason that we don't make engines like this anymore. So hopefully after that we will get this to run. And again, the air leak on the side here, because as it vibrates, those O-rings only go exactly where they fit. I did have to move the fuel tank by loosening these bands a bit. I may have to modify this mounting to get the fuel tank to fit a little closer, just to make sure this elbow is less likely to pop out of place, but I think I have it in the right spot, and I have this foot readjusted properly, so hopefully that will fix the problems and make the R18 run nicely.